Okay, I'm back with another part of the revisions to the Code of Ethics that will be updated January 1st, 2018. So this is a continuation of the last video. Again, this is Ashley of Day-to-Day Social Work, private online tutor, specialize in assisting people to pass the license exam in social work on the master's and bachelor's level. Offer tutoring. You can find me online at daytodaysocialwork.wix.com/my site. And on YouTube at Day-to-Day Social Work. I provide free tutoring consultations on my website. So, back to it. Now, I'm going to combine a couple sections in this video just because they're not that long. So, back to it. Now we're going to look at competence, which is section 1.04. So, a new standard, 1.04D, extends the concept of competence to include the ability to use technology in a competent manner. Social workers using technology in practice need to understand the possibility of communication challenges and how to address these challenges. So most of this stuff deals with technology. So that's pretty much what you're going to hear about. All of these revisions and amendments center around the fact that we are in a technologically advanced world now, and we had to incorporate that into the Code of Ethics. So then it says a new standard, 1.04E, guides social workers using technology to ensure that they comply with the laws of both the jurisdiction where the social worker is regulated and located, as well as where the client is located, and that's very important. So if you are doing some kind of therapy with the client that lives in New York and you live in South Carolina, you need to know what the laws are regarding the use of technology, and just the laws in general of wherever they are in that state, so that you can advise them correctly. Just like with me, I do tutoring and I make these videos and I tell people all the time, disclaimer, I'm in the state of South Carolina, so this may be different from where you are. Please understand that. So anything that I'm saying is from my experience in the state of South Carolina. So always make sure that you look into wherever state or whatever city or jurisdiction you're in to make sure it matches with your clients, or that you are competent in whatever it is that you're telling them, and that it applies to wherever they are geographically. It says the use of video conferencing, text messaging, and other distance technology allows social workers to serve clients in different states or countries. And they give an example, but we won't go through that. Well, yeah, we will, just because. Consider, for instance, a social worker who is licensed in New York is traveling to California and is providing counseling to a client in Kansas or Toronto. Social workers should take note of how laws in each of these jurisdictions may apply to them, such as professional licensing laws, child and elder abuse reporting laws, tax laws, and so forth. So same thing I just said. Okay, now that was competence in section 1.04. Now we're going to talk about cultural competence and social diversity. So this is section 1.05, and do not discount the rest of the Code of Ethics. Still stands as it is. These are just revisions. So this is what you need to know in addition to what we already know about the Code of Ethics. So all those videos I made before that are like 30 minutes long and drawn out, all of that still applies. This is just amendments and revisions. So keep that in mind. Okay, so it says the heading for this section was changed from cultural competence and social diversity to cultural awareness and social diversity. This change was made to acknowledge the changes in social work literature and language when discussing issues related to culture and human diversity. Some people have questioned whether the term competence supposes that social workers can become competent in someone else's culture or any other aspect of their social diversity. I guess that is a good thing to question. Can you become competent in someone else's culture the same way you could become fluent in someone else's language? I don't know. Let's see. Terms such as cultural awareness, cultural humility, and cultural responsiveness have been used to convey that social workers should be aware of their client's culture, to understand how they may need to learn more about the client's culture, and to ensure that the client's interventions and interactions with clients should be tailored to meet the needs of the client, including attention to cultural and diversity concerns, which is so important in today's world with all that's going on with racism and politics and social injustice and all that kind of stuff. And I'm being animated tonight because I'm kind of antsy because I gotta wash my hair, so I'm trying to get through this. But anyway, let's see what else. The wording of the standards under this provision has not changed. Okay, so it says a new standard 1.05D guides social workers to be aware of, assess, and respond to cultural, environmental, economic, ability, linguistic, and other social diversity issues that may affect delivery or use of services that involve the use of technology. In some situations, technology can be used to improve access to services for people from diverse or vulnerable backgrounds. In other situations, the use of technology may present challenges for social workers, helping particular clients or groups given each client's unique needs, strengths, and differences. For example, can the client afford technology required to communicate with the worker? How can technology address visual impairments or other abilities? And how can online text-based interventions be modified for people with low-level accuracy? So that's important too. So we have to know, can our clients utilize these technological services? Are they accessible to the clients? Can they afford them? So all that, I guess this calls into question, the accessibility and ability to use these services that we're now using with our clients. So that's all the changes for that. Let's see how we're doing on time here. I will stop this one here. Well, no, because the next one is a little long. So I'll stop this one after we finish with conflict of interest. So conflict of interest is 1.06. It says a new standard 1.06E discourages social workers from communicating with clients using technology for personal or non-work related purposes. That's important. So, given the rapid growth in online social networking and other forms of social media, it is important for social workers to be aware of the importance of maintaining appropriate client-worker boundaries, including with respect to digital communications. So we don't need to be using text messages to ask our clients how their son did at the basketball game on Saturday. Like all that personal kind of stuff, we don't need to use technology for that, or non-work related purposes. So, you might have gone to do a home visit with your client and the client says, or the client has a new haircut and you love it, and you say, oh, well, who cut your hair? And they say, the salon down the street on the left past the Balo. They cut my hair there. And then y'all start talking about what you really came there to talk about, and then you leave, and then you forgot. Hey, I forgot to get the name of the salon, and I forgot, did she say it was past Balo, or was it past Ingles? And you want to text her to see which one it is. That's not work related. That's not related to the client. We don't need to do that. So that's conflict of interest, new standard 1.06E. Then it says a new standard 1.06F suggests that social workers should be aware that posting personal information on professional websites or other media could cause boundary confusion, inappropriate dual relationships, or harm to clients. OMG, y'all, this is something that I like. I know this girl on this woman or this lady on social media. She's a teacher, and I know she's not a social worker, but still, I think about this when I just read that she's a teacher and she posts the most vulgar stuff online. She does live Facebook chats and videos, and I'm like, if I saw this, if this was my child's teacher, I would have a problem with her putting this stuff on Facebook. Like, her mouth is just, every other word is a cuss word, and it's just really, really bad. So that's what that is saying. We need to be aware of what we post about ourselves, even on our personal social media pages, and on professional websites, because I know some people use LinkedIn as a way to find professional women or men to date and stuff like that. So be careful what you post on LinkedIn, on Facebook. LinkedIn used to be a little more restricted, but now it's kind of opening up to have like a news feed like Facebook, and you can post and repost stuff. So just be aware of what you post, because we don't want to cause boundary confusion, and we don't want to create inappropriate what did they call it? Inappropriate dual relationships or harm to clients. So this puts the onus on social workers to determine whether it is appropriate to post personal information online. The task force determined that it would not be appropriate to include a provision that unduly restricted the social worker's ability to post personal information online, as this could infringe the social worker's rights to the freedom of speech and expression. Each worker will need to use and exercise professional judgment. So that's important. Be careful what you post online about yourself. All right, a new standard 1.06G suggests the social workers should be aware that clients may discover personal information about them based on their personal affiliations and use of social media. The task force determined that prohibiting social networking could be a violation of freedom of speech. Same thing with 1.06F that we just talked about. So we just have to be aware of potential pitfalls and use professional judgment when it comes to using technology. So yeah, your client could find out stuff about you by what you post on social media, even if you didn't add them. You know, some stuff that you post is just automatically public if you don't make it private, and then they might search you and try to find out more about you and find out, you know, maybe you're a Republican and they're a Democrat, and they find out that you're a Democrat and they don't want to work with someone that's Democratic, so they want a Republican, and all, you know, just an example off the top of my head. So that's that. And then it says this last one, new standard 1.06H suggests that social workers should avoid accepting requests from or engaging in personal relationships with clients on social networks or other electronic media. The purpose of this section is to prevent boundary confusion, inappropriate dual relationships, and harm to clients. So we should not be accepting requests from clients on social networks, or engaging in personal relationships with clients on social networks. So that's that. All right, so this is the end of this video. I will be making another one right after this one, and continue on with the revisions. So see you next video.